Ooh, greetings. Long time no see, long time no play. I think I alluded a few weeks ago to things being very busy with work. Unfortunately, that has remained the case for a while. In the middle of that, I went through a period of about a week or two where I wasn't very well. There's a number of colds. So I really didn't get much chance at playing. So what I'm just going to do now is a quick little video to show the progress of a lot of the things that I did off camera, and more importantly, what hopefully is I've got a slight graphic glitch, but never mind. It's the result of me playing in high definition. I was playing around with that a few weeks back. Well, probably a month or so ago now. Was before things got very busy. There's a few little niggles even now. I've started playing in full screen mode, and I think that's possibly part of the problem. So unfortunately, I've been a bad simmer just recently, and I will be going away from tomorrow for a small period of time. Tomorrow for a week, but then when I come back I shall have a lot more time on my hands. Things will calm down, and autumn's well and truly here, so it's prime sim time. Just recently I've been working on my home lab as well, when I have had some spare time. So unfortunately simming has come late in the day, but we're here now. So I had when I opened the city tile that I started planning, it told me to reconcile edges, but I don't want to reconcile the edges of that city tile, so I'm just going through the tiles around it at the moment to save that, and just to make sure everything's alright, because I don't really want to do much more developing in my main tile that I am starting. Yes, I have seen that glitch before. I think I have to go windowed view again. It's not the end of the world. I might do that before the next video I make. My daughter, bless her, she's only 8, but she has her own little YouTube channel where she's done some drawing and playing with Schleich horses. She's promised me she's going to watch some of my videos, so I'll say a big shout out to her, Anna Maria, who has in my previous region and in this region has a city named after her, which was a very nice sort of agricultural tile for the most part, with some nice little villages and a small commercial district. So hello Anna Maria, and hello everyone else who's not finding this boring. I hope you do find that you do like the high definition. I think it's definitely worth persevering with. It's actually playing like it is in windowed mode, because I'm having to press the right button to scroll, which you don't normally have to do in full screen mode, but I'm not complaining. So this is what we've done in the previous weeks or months even. So I placed a lot of avenues around, and now this is what we're left with. Again, just planning, and I have been keeping up with YouTube videos, and there is a new NAM, and I've spent some time on Simtropolis, downloading some new mods. So whilst I was doing that, I have left some little placeholders to remind me what to do. So I've got I actually downloaded some nice looking ferry ports actually, which I might try and put in. I'll put a junction in down here. I want to do a network widening mod neighbour connection. Reason being is I figured it probably needs some extra lanes even. I had anticipated only motorway or rail links between cities. I'll go through slowly. I have souped up, or hopefully, in my opinion, souped up some of the little junctions, the railway junctions. Some people do some wonderful work with Real Highway. I like to think I've got some real work. Make some of them a thing of beauty. Because I'm going to have to put the turning lanes here, it's a bit tight, so I've had to go with railway crossings. There is something I can do about them, but it involves doing a rail up to the subway underpass, which will kill any freight rail. Now this was originally going to be a port area, a combination of the Maxis or the possibly functional seaports and some eye candy with it, but I think I'm going to have a problem because I've got a little bit carried away with avenue planning and thought this would be a nice place for houses or some industry, so I have to think where I'm going to put that, if at all, in this city. It is Nova Venezia, so it's not really super industrial, but it's loosely in true to form. So I've still got to lay down some roads. I think this junction I posted on the Facebook group, I was very proud of that. So I'm thinking that I might actually do a port in the next city. I've done not everything flat across over here, and freakish looking railway junction. If I'm this city here, this is actually north. If it has got a freight rail, I'm going to need to do something here actually. Maybe a branch out to here, but we'll see. So I've given myself some homework over here. For example, I have this 6-lane avenue, and I've got to try and end it. So I'm thinking, Puzzle Piece Junction. I've got to try and somehow make it cross this railway line. I'm going to be putting turning lanes in, which is, I find, fiddly, in another railway crossing. Again, I might have to redesign this up here because I use the underpasses to get under the Ave. I'm going to have an industrial area here. I'm going to want some freight rail, and they're not going to go under here, so I might be changing a few things. I'm going to do a fancy T junction. It's very tight. I'm going to try an avenue roundabout if such a thing exists. I'm going to RTFM on the NAM manual a little bit, ignoring the power zots. I kind of had a slight accident where I previously, working off camera, and I press play again. So there we go, and another ferry port. So that's what I'm going to do now. What I'll do today, I'm not going to do too much around here because I'm still liking the idea of a port, to be completely honest with you. I might see. I'm tempted to just rip up some railway. I'm tempted to rip up some railway. So I don't have lots of time tonight. The more I see this, the more I think I'll have a play. So, well, neighbourhood connections are reasonably straightforward, as I've not done one for a while. So I'm going to stay away from the rail, because if I do decide to do anything, I'm going to spend a lot of time demolishing. So I'm probably not going to do much here either. Maybe do something raised. So I've been thinking about things, obviously, and as you're not playing, as I tend to do, in all honesty, and there's always lots of things you think you're going to do better or you do differently. So I'm pretty happy with this side. I really do not want to do anything with this junction. I am very happy with that. To try and get a railway line through there would be, any other way would be difficult. So yes, I know I ramble, but that's just the way of it. So I'll look at rail crossings another time. I'll possibly do some ferry ports now. Might lay down some Tram Avenue goodness. I think we'll do to start off with is look at the quality of that. I mean, this I'm going to spend more time on this now. I will be putting a lot more into this. I think an overpass actually here can make it look natural, not using the ramps. I'm going to put some turning lanes, I think. Hope that things haven't changed too much with the new NAM. I downloaded it, but I have not read about it at all. Here the new features or anything, so we'll see. Flex turn lanes. I think I'll do some playing off camera when I get back next week. But let's see what we can do. This is always gets me sometimes, is the vast number of options. I'm liking the ones with the ramps actually. They can come in very handy. So I've just got to see what I've got to work with. Would help if I put it over a flat side, you see. So that's no good, but that would fit in nicely, although I'm going to have to demolish. Yes. So let's put in. This is not going to be a very long one. It was more of an overview of what I did offline. I really did intend. I've gone in the wrong menu. I really did intend to. If it's any better going backwards, to spend more time doing this. But it just Oh dear. And I have, but it has been a busy few weeks. I think that will do us nicely. And then what we can do here now, it very much depends on what we're allowed to do. So here's an avenue to 120, which I think is a one laner. So I'm starting off a new city. So I do get a little bit, I don't want to say rude words, but I do get quite obsessed with things being odd. Even numbers, straight lines where possible, and also the number of tiles when I do these sorts of things, especially with Tram and Avenue actually. So I have to decide. So I think I'm going to decide freeze, although I've chosen the wrong one, haven't I? Not a very good start. So I think we'll have to call this series of how not to do SimCity. Let's try that again. I'm going to use the excuse that I've not played in a while, so I will pay a lot more attention. That's the one, I think. No, I'm completely off. Wow. Either it's been too long since I last did this, would have been refitting in the summer actually, so it wasn't terribly long ago, but that was a long time to play. I'll probably have more luck starting here. It's like anything really, I suppose you have to do it more often. I have gone too far, so what I'm looking for is here. And now I've gone too far the other way. This is gonna bug me. Having you to do. This is a. Yes, but I'm not liking that. That's not right. Oh no, it is right. I also seem to have lost the ability to count. I'm going to blame not playing very regularly. And I will promise I will be a much better simmer. Now autumn is well and truly here. And I will have a lot more time. I do like the look of these pedestrian crossings. I did see a preview video that a very nice man put on YouTube a few weeks ago. I wonder how nicely they play with Tram and Avenue, obviously not at the same time, but how they'll fit into the city. Okay, that's our guy there. So again, the same thing. So I've got 3 tiles of I suppose I could do something different if if I have traffic problems. We all like things to be uniform and just how we like them, I suppose. And sometimes you have to give to the terrain. So there's an example of how to do turning lanes very badly. What I would say in my defence is that, you know, a lot of people make it seem very easy, and it's fairly easy if you keep doing it. If you don't keep doing it, then you struggle. Give that some sort of name, I think, or I'm actually going to save that. Think of some sort of name for that junction. So this is purely just for a bit of fun. I've just spotted something really silly. Didn't need to do a turning lane there. Now, sometimes, you know, you're watching a video and you're screaming at someone, "No, don't do that! Don't!" Yeah. Although I quite like that turning lane, I think it could be a lot of fun. You know, just going off to a dead end and having a nice thing. Okay, I'm definitely liking that now. Much better. Much better. I will get better at this again. Whether we get turning lanes here, it's not something I've genuinely did. I tend normally to have regular avenues and roundabouts at these kinds of junctions. Continuing the theme of trying and hoping for the best, or what you can get away with. I'll do that. I'm not having a serious session tonight, as I've said. I'm having some fun. And I'm not really RTFMing, although I will be in Ireland visiting relatives and the gorgeous Ring of Kerry, and where half of my family come from. And I will have plenty of time, possibly do some RTFMing. Let's see, it would also help if I pick the right menu. I'm not going to spend all the time doing this. It's a little bit of everything, little overview. Let's see what we can get away with. I don't even know if this is possible. It's not something that I've even tried. If there is a single lane one, oh, well, you'd thought that would be that would be a thing, right? You would think that's a thing. Just going to check. See, there's potential there, isn't there? Although that's going to be problematic. It's probably a bit too close. Shall we go for it? So let's drop a save. We'll go for it. I've done some housekeeping. I'm quite happy to ruin anything. I have been going slow a lot of the time. Anyway, I'd normally be way into it by now. Planting trees everywhere, which in itself can take me a day very easily. Let's see if we can. I should probably not have started over here, but I'm going to try and do the least amount of damage, even though I have dropped a save. Alternatively, asking for trouble there, aren't we? Are you feeling lucky, punk? Maybe try and get some fractional angle goodness going. We will see. So what with work being busy, I have only been able to stick to one of my little hobbies or endeavours at a time rather than doing as much or as many as I would like, which is a bit of a shame, but you know, it is what it is. And I've been listening to podcasts. Now it needs to be a two. That's mashed. I again completely picked the wrong one. I am a bad simmer. I'll get better, don't worry. Just have to pretend I'm not working on a realistic budget. I can think of worse people to run a town than me. Not wanting to be political, but it's not going very well in the country where I live. I will pay attention. I think that's what we want. Remember, this is a screw it, doesn't matter if it doesn't work session. We're just having fun. I can be as serious as the next guy and have a laugh as much as the next guy. I'll get a bit more serious next time. Don't hate too much. Things aren't going very well. It's not the end of the world. Now, don't really want diagonal. I might have to go. The gradient is definitely hurting me here. Let's flatten that out. So I was listening to a self-hosted podcast. I've been keeping up with my walking, and that's going to be a problem, isn't it? That's going to be a problem already. I can see this being aborted, I'm sorry to say. and there's a, I would say fellow Brit, but I don't. I'm British only by virtue of having been born here, really. I'm not. I'm not really of here. Let's try this one. And I certainly don't feel of here. I think this is going to be. This is going to be trouble. I'm using an 8S. Okay. That's good. I can sort that out easily enough in a minute. In fact, I'll sort that out easily enough now. So again, I am horribly rambling. So anyway, the guy on this podcast, the English person on this podcast, he's a player of city builder games and a fan of SimCity. So it's nice to see us getting around. Smile to my face. God, I really should have got some practice in before I started playing again, huh? Let's pop a starter piece in. May or may not decide to put some tramming avenue, depending on how this goes, really. Let's go for some fractional angle. I really need to. I really need to do better, don't I? Okay. But never ever be discouraged. There we go. It takes time. You have to. Oh. Is that going to troll me now? I have to take that out just to put that in. I am going to have to leave this, I think. The idea's sound. and it does look good. Maybe when I've got more time I'll spend more time on it. I'll do it offline when I come back. I'll tell you what we'll do for now. We'll get some Tram Avenue goodness. I can get some of the boring repetitive stuff out of the way. I'll fix the graphics. I'll fix the graphics again. How long we've been going on for? Oh dear. It's already a bit longer than I had imagined. But never mind. This is how I live in winding down in the evenings. We're a bit making more of a habit of this because, as I've said previously, I'm not really one for talking. It might get a little bit better, and I do hope it's not too boring. Trying and failing is as interesting to me as trying and succeeding. I hope that like-minded people would find it interesting. So I've left myself a lot to do. I'm sure anyone would much rather have watched so far what I've done on camera and not what I've done off camera, because laying down avenues, I don't much like that roundabout there. Yeah, oh, that's going to be interesting with the bridge. I'll have to do some flattening, but we'll save that for another time. What we'll do now is we'll try and get a little bit of success. So what is the story here? So this is going to be the industrial area by the railway. Now, do I want trams going down there? I suppose we could probably have some sort of tram station here anyway. Now, probably think, what's that blooming idiot doing now? I'm thinking about multiple Tram Avenue stations here. Let's see. I have got some very lovely new mods, but they do tend to upset the menu slightly. We'll also have to do some parking by the station. I have overshot. There we go. If I put one there, what can I get away with? Another one here. Yeah, I'm quite liking that. It's hopefully going to be a very busy area, so station there, look good. Now here, if anyone has persevered with me, in order to make these stations active, you need to run a one-way road along the direction of travel. Now I'm not sure if that's all of them. I tend to use these because I like the pedestrian crossing. Now maybe some of those new pedestrian crossings would probably work better here actually, but as you've seen, I've failed spectacularly at the things that I do know a little bit about, so I'm certainly not going to try anything new today or this evening, because it's a complete recipe for disaster. So let's put some of these in now. I don't really want a roundabout there. Do I want tram going that way? If it goes up here, I suppose you could do with some sort of subway. I mean, I would have to change. It's not really going to go here. I suppose it could go there, but then it's going to. Last time I checked, there wasn't a Tram Avenue bridge, which was a shame. But at the same time, you could probably put something here. So let's do that. Just put it on the road. I mean, if you're doing this in a residential area, you must do the residential zoning in advance, or at least I think that's what. That is the old conventional wisdom. Now, are we having any here? There's not much point really. It's a bit of a dead area. We will have a station here. I'll put that in a little while. I'm just going to put these in for now because I'm not 100% certain where would be a good place for a station, and I suspect it's going to be there. You want it a bit further away from the station. You don't want too much. Maybe we'll come up with a pattern of 4 station. Although I do think they're a bit too close together. We can always do something about that. That one needs to be there. Graphical glitch. I swear it's got something to do with the gradient. I think I said that before. I think in the middle will be a good place for a station, so we'll leave that. We'll do something funky here with the ferry terminal. Maybe take it off. Take it off ground. They're one of the ferry terminals that I downloaded recently. It's an old one. Had an avenue connection, which was really nice because I always thought it was very odd that you had to have 2 roads, and if you tried to join it to an avenue, you had a situation where one of your lanes, I'm pointing at the screen because you can see my fingers, coming off the ferry just goes immediately back round into the queue to get on the ferry. So that wasn't very good. I'll do this a couple of stations later and we'll do those junctions. We previously decided not to put tram here for some reason. It would be a nice place for a tram station there. What have we got here? Ooh. At this point I think it was going to go off somewhere, so keep it going to here. I think that's sufficient space. Probably leave the station there. I don't know exactly what I'm going to be doing here just yet. I'll keep at least 2 either side. Oh, one too many, but it's obvious I want a station there. Probably have a station there. It's too much. I might move it closer, we'll see. I think here is possibly crying out for some sort of tram link. You know, right at the end there, there's no rail or anything. I was actually tempted at some point. Maybe after I've pressed play, which with it again, I stress I very often press play a lot sooner than I have in this tile. But to have had a railway line that comes across and maybe into here, be a transportation project for the future. think that will do there. So that will come up, terminate here. One day we can do an extension. This is going to be tricky. I think it's going to have to go off again, so we'll put a termination in there. This is very much a tramway really for downtown. People will use this to get to the station to get in and out of work. Using my imagination a little bit, it's one of those things where the city wasn't pre-planned in advance and just grew. Some might say this isn't very well pre-planned in advance, but hey ho. What have we got? So we're going to do a bit more here. I think this is definitely crying out for a station there. That's crying out for a station. I suppose we'll terminate it, although we could probably... So this is where we have a slight problem here. If we're going to use subways. Now the map I'm using, these gauges are absolutely horrible. You can't put subway or water pipes. That's going to be a bit of a problem because it's a very islandy situation. I'm thinking what we'll do is take it out here, convert it to elevated rail. And cross the bridge. So we'll put a station in the middle. Now we're going to have to go ground light rail. I mean, you can have it on there, but you can't have the curves. It'd be really nice to keep it going to here though, especially as that's a high speed rail link. So probably take it down to subway here. I'll put a little marker in. Say down to sub. I have to do this because my memory is atrocious. And I won't remember. Almost anything. Might try that somewhere else as well, we'll see. Okay. Put some tram stations. In, and then we will call it a night. It's not been thoroughly convincing, I grant you, but it is the first time I've played in a long time, other than opening and closing the game just to play with the graphic settings. I am absolutely in love with this resolution. I do need to say that. And that's where that's going. Okay. I wonder if there's an add-on for mini-maps. So you could get picture-in-picture view. Star Trek Armada, great game. I love very much. Has that? Oh yeah. We're terminating here, aren't we? Let me put in a signpost. So there's lots to do. I will I will play with the new NAM and try a few things off camera. I'll try and do as much as I can on camera. I mean, this is the sort of thing, if you like it, if you're like me, you could watch people playing for hours and hopefully get some inspiration. I promise I will eventually do some really nice things. I like to think that I'm good with the decoration. I'm tempted to move that closer, really. I think that's too close there. That's gonna ruin that, and put that in. Yeah, so let's put some stations in. I'm very tempted to call it a night now, actually. I'm sure you'll be very relieved. And do you know something? I think I will. We'll carry on from here next time, or I might do it offline. Catch you later.